Welcome back to Lush Life, No Labels. I'm Michelle, and Alfredo will not be joining us today. Life has just gotten a bit busy, so he will join whenever he can. Wanted to make sure we get you guys more programming on this. Just jumping into our story of the week this week. It's almost the end of 2024, and I have been reflecting on many, many things, but one of them is my finances. While this podcast is about self-improvement and reflections, I also believe it's important to acknowledge the areas where we are doing well and to celebrate our wins. One of the things that I have actually cut down on spending is around fitness. Currently, I actually do most of my workouts at home via YouTube University or free apps, essentially on my TV or my laptop or phone. And I've been through a few things, I guess, in terms of working out, but earlier this year, I was a member of ClassPass, so that gave me the chance to go to different gyms and try out different things, which I thought was super fun. But then it got to be too much because different gyms, they just were far away from each other, and which to me was, it became too much. Then I got a membership at a gym near where I live. But then after a certain point, there became way too many bodies, way too many people going to the gym, which I guess is a positive thing. But for me, it wasn't. One, because I'm pretty introverted. And so I do prefer to not be in too many places that are crowded. I think the other thing too for me at these gyms is that there were not enough fans. I like to work out in a cooler environment. So when there are too many people, becomes uncomfortable for me. The other thing too is that I spend less time trying to get somewhere to work out. I can just do it at home. I thought this was a pretty big win this year. I do recommend at least trying to work out if you want to at home. Like I said, there are a lot of free services and things out there. And if you want to use some equipment, for example, I have different sets of dumbbells. I order those. So it's a one-time purchase that you can use for a long, long time. And I think it's pretty good. I also do some other workouts outside of like weightlifting. I do recommend this for people who are introverts, or if you're looking to save on a gym membership. This is something to try. If you have limited space where you live, this is also something that you can try. You don't need that much space, honestly, to stay in shape, in my opinion. So, something to try there. Another place where I've actually saved money is I've been increasingly looking for quality clothing. All we hear about these days is fast fashion, fast fashion. And I found that the fast fashion items that I've bought previously don't really last me that much. So I end up spending more money because I need to replace those items or try to find something better. So I've been looking at the actual materials that clothes are made out of. If it's in person, I'll look at the tag and the way it's stitched. But if I'm shopping online, then I'll look at the section about the product description. And so I'll see, are they using polyester or a rayon, these plastic materials, or more organic things like linen, cotton, wool. And so those are really helpful to find like staple clothes that, yes, they may be a bit pricier at the start, but over time, it's actually going to be cheaper because then you don't have to replace those items that you love so frequently. The other thing too that I've done is learning to clean better and care better for my shoes. I've started doing that more frequently, and I think this is great, especially if you have a pair of shoes that are really comfortable and you can't find a replacement for them, then it's a great way to just make sure that you can keep things for a long time. Foot health is important. That's something we don't talk about enough, and having the right shoes and having clean shoes is also important. But I don't think that we need to be buying shoes all the time. I really don't think that's necessary, or at least for me. So this is something that I've definitely curbed this year. Another thing here is that I actually at the beginning of the year deleted all of the food apps off my phone for many reasons. One, those extra fees were really adding up, especially when it was for delivery. Two, for me, I don't know if it was just me, but they would take so long to deliver the food. One time, it took like 2 hours for the food to get here. And the annoying part of that was because I'd ordered the food, and then the fact that it took the 2 hours, like everything else was closed at the time. And so I couldn't order from somewhere else. I just had to wait for this food, which was really, really frustrating. And then they brought this food and it was trash. So it certainly was not worth it for me. That has happened to me a few times. Or in the cases where you get your delivery finally and not all your items are in there, or it's like that's not what you asked for. So you just paid all this money to essentially not be satisfied with your food. So I think over time I just got super frustrated about that and just deleted all those apps, which saved me a lot of money. I challenged myself to grocery shop more this year instead of eating out as much, being mindful. For me, it was good to decrease that part and also just not have the annoying food apps on my phone. So the last part here is pretty much anything Bath and Body bulk shopping. I don't think that's necessary. So what I started doing was waiting until whatever I'm using, whether it's something Bath and Body or skincare or makeup, wait until it's almost done and then go and replace it. Perfume, like those types of things. Wait until it's done until and it or it's almost done and then replace it right before that, or obviously before it expires. But I thought that this was helpful because one, it actually helped me have less clutter around the house, like just fewer things just sitting around that I'm not using. Also, it definitely helped me to save some money because those things are also not cheap. We do use them, right, every day, those types of Bath and Body things. So they do run out a bit quicker than other items, but I think that's why it's good to just wait, until you've used up most of it and then go ahead and do that. I'm actually pretty proud of myself for these areas because the fact that I have been spending less money on these different areas means that I have that money to spend on other things, meet other financial goals that I have. Literally anything else that I've deemed as more valuable than sort of buying extras unnecessarily or buying things that are not as good quality. Everyone is different, obviously. These were just some of the areas that I curbed and that I purposefully tried to spend less money on this year, and I would say that it worked well enough for me. I'm going to continue to try to do these things and try to see if there are any other areas where I have been spending way too much money and I want to kind of decrease. I do challenge everyone. I want to challenge everyone to think about where you've actually saved money this year because it is hard. If you've saved money anywhere, pat yourself on the back because it's hard in our society, especially one that's as capitalistic as the US. There is always marketing for products and services to us every single day on our phones, outside. And so I think if you've been able to save money in some key areas, then you should definitely be proud of yourself. Thanks again for listening to Lush Life, No Labels. Tune in for our next episode.